Welcome back to the NA LCS Spring Split. It is time for our first game of the day, Counterlogic Gaming versus Evil Geniuses. And this is a rematch from Week 1 where EG picked up their first victory in the North American LCS, but this isn't the same CLG that they faced back then.
Yeah, it's almost never the same CLG from week to week. But not only is Dexter joining the team in the jungle, we got to remember Link is moving back to the mid lane. Link was one of the NA LCS's strongest mid laners with a very deep champion pool, but he's been covering the jungle for about a month now. We have to see how he can jump back into the mid lane on a competitive level.
Versatility is a good thing, and he's been showing it. And while it is appropriate that it is Dexter's first time in the NA LCS game, because he's going to be against some familiar EU LCS faces.
Yeah, just like the Evil Geniuses, who, by the way, yesterday had a very strong early and mid game against TSM. But they started to fall behind. They began making some desperate plays, and they didn't work. So they had some struggles coming back in that game and ended up having a scoreline that didn't look very impressive.
One of those things that just you try, and you keep getting put farther behind. Some things you need to do is what they do on Snoopy, is try different things. The Pantheon and the Mundo both worked fantastically for him, and it seems to be giving him the surge they need.
And that's going to be one of the big questions for Evil Geniuses, whether they continue to go with Urgot and Soraka, whether Snoopy tries to play the different junglers, or whether they just try to continue what got them some of their wins.
Well, for a closer look at this matchup, let's send it down to Freak.
Hey guys, welcome to the show here. I got the CLG coach MonteCristo with me here. You guys finally have your full roster. How much of a relief is it to have Dexter back in the jungle?
I mean, obviously a tremendous relief. We didn't plan on having all these substitutes this season. It was really hard. I feel fortunate that CLG is in the middle of the pack, given how many kind of role swaps and guest stars we've had on CLG this season. So I'm pretty damn happy.
So how has practice with Dexter been going then? Have you had much time to practice with him? Did you know he was coming this week?
Well, you really got to hand it to Dexter. I mean, he had a 20-hour flight layover in Moscow, came in. He wanted to scrim that night after this long flight, so you can really see his dedication. He's got a great, winning mentality. Great guy, and so practice has gone really well. It was a little shaky the first day, but second day of scrims, we rocked.
So coming into this match, you guys are feeling really confident then coming into the game.
I mean, as confident as we can be. Obviously, the team hasn't practiced together for that long, but it's gone as well as can be expected.
Okay, so last question for you here. I noticed you've come actually with your strategies here for all to see. If you'd like to show us your strategy document.
Oh, yeah. So Esports Express actually recently revealed the secret behind CLG's decision-making, which is, of course, magic spinners. So I've got our strategy spinner here, and it includes such CLG classics as pick Vayne, fall behind early, wait until 50 minutes, and then win. Solo split push with AD carry, Nidalee shot GG, win one game, to give the fans false hope. But, you know, we've as well as trash talking, but we've got some new strats prepared as well, such as Dexter goes back to jail and we sub in Kobe again. We're really looking forward to playing as a Mumu. So we're going to give it a spin, see what comes up today.
All right.
It's split push with solo AD carry, so I'm going to go talk to Double Lift and make sure we can get that going for you guys.
I think you would have done that regardless, MonteCristo. I don't think you could convince him otherwise.
I mean, this is pretty much my entire job as a coach right now. I just spin the wheel and read it to them.
I'd love to see you on Price is Right. I figured you'd win pretty much all the money there.
Yeah, well, I'll get on there someday. I'll move on up, Freak. I'll move on up.
All right, well, thank you for your time, MonteCristo. Good luck with your team. And let's find out how Double Lift does do that solo split push and send it back over to the guys at the caster's desk.
Thank you very much, Freak and MonteCristo. Let's check out the starting lineups here. On the blue side, it is Counterlogic Gaming. In the top lane is Nien. We may see him on Trundle today. He's been trolling a bit there in the interview. Dexter in the jungle, finally. Link is back in mid. Double Lift at AD carry and Aphromoo on support.
Yeah, and on the red side is, of course, Evil Geniuses with Inox in the top lane, Snoopy in the jungle, Pobelter on the mid lane, Yellow Pete and Crepo taking up the bot lane.
And what MonteCristo just said kind of fuels also the coach's interview when we did previously, where he's like, I feel all right giving Double Lift his Vayne and letting him go on Vayne mechanics. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yeah, Double Lift might actually be playing a lot more Vayne. I actually got to check him out playing against LMQ's AD carry last night. He had a very powerful game on Vayne, so he's fresh with the practice.
The early strength, or was it the 50-minute?
We're
going to come back.
16-4, and then he lost. It was Double Lift. Yeah. I don't know. It
It's
happens sometimes.
Well, when the team takes the Nexus and you're still farming the side lane and you're in the Double Lift environment, when you're in your own atmosphere, I guess.
Sometimes that happens for him. It depends. That's the strategy MonteCristo spun up on his.
Yeah.
spinner.
So we have to figure out what is EG going to do here, because we don't have the convenience of having a spinner strategy given to us right away.
No, it's going to be hard to make a 117 champion large spinner for all the Champions League legends. Soraka, though, is an interesting one. Just not even letting Crepo
right to the heart of that strategy.
Exactly. They're the only team in the LCS right now that even plays Soraka, and they're just getting rid of it right off the bat.
The Gragas cast, seeing a lot of things that are usually on that ban list. Dexter played Elise and Olaf back in Boda. We actually see the Elise being banned out right now, so got an eye on him and see where he goes today.
Yeah, CLG also had a preference of first picking Elise fairly frequently. I do kind of like the CLG bans in this game, though, only because they very heavily target the strengths of EG at that point. The mid lane with Pobelter's Gragas has been probably the best thing they've ended up playing, and the Soraka has also been very strong for Crepo.
Those are picks you actually see EG, the mid lane at least, leaving for the last one. The Thresh being picked up here, going over to Afro Moo. He's got a win on that so far, but this will be the second time on it.
Yeah, it allowed Doublelift to kind of do what he wants. Thresh is the ubiquitous support, it seems to be in the LCS. Although, having Olaf coming through, Snoopy had a very strong Olaf game the last time they played. One of their keys to victory, I'd really have to say. Got a lot of early ganks off that were successful. Already locked in.
He's definitely banned out quite a bit, so Snoopy's feeling good about grabbing that up, as well as Jinx on the team. Yellow Pete had a great game for himself yesterday. The quadra kill to finish. The team was right behind him, cheering and jeering on that one. We'll see if they can do it again.
Yeah, Yellow Pete's been really up and down.
That's true.
It has to be. Oh, they're laughing about something, though. Somebody just cracked a joke right there on the EG side. Geez, CLG picked so fast as well. Vine, Shyvana being locked in. No real surprises there. Obviously, Dexter
wants his jungle right away.
Didn't have Vi in the Battle Atlantic champion roster, but he's got her now.
He actually spent a lot of time kind of just hanging out in the brush, waiting for the waiting patiently ganks. See if he's a bit more aggressive. He was able to get CLG first blood in the Boda games and have a hand in the second kill there. So he is working the lane for Doublelift back at Boda. See if they do it again.
Vi is one of the champions who, if you want to camp a lane, is fantastic at it. I really wonder, though, what EG is going to be throwing with this Jinx. We got to see some Alistair yesterday from St. Vicious. Crepo has played it once already, was victorious.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very interesting lane. His only job is really going to be to protect Yellow Pete, not necessarily to go aggressive unless he gets a little bit of gank support. Alistair's not extremely potent against Thresh, but that's actually the matchup St. Vicious played yesterday, and it worked quite well because they had so many Pantheon ganks. I don't know if Olaf's going to have the same type of gank support.
Yeah, you're just kind of just walking into the lane with him. Can't do too much gap closing. Sivir for Doublelift. That will be a first-time pickup for him onto Sivir, at least here in the spring split.
Yeah, he's always been the type of person who has played a lot of Sivir, just never brought it out in competitive. He's been so seldom to use that. They're obviously synergizing the Sivir ultimate with the Shyvana move speed. We saw that very potently yesterday from TSM when Wild Turtle and Dyrus played Sivir and Shyvana. No wonder here, though. That's a potent lineup. We get to see Lynx, LeBlanc. It's so funny for CLG how Doublelift or Hotshot was their mid laner forever, and LeBlanc was completely banned. And then they bring in Link, their permanent mid laner,
who people haven't seen.
Might actually be better at LeBlanc because he mains mid lane professionally, and they get to pick at that time.
MonteCristo said that they didn't have much time to scrim, so if they don't have a ton of synergy, Link can carry a bit on that LeBlanc. The team can get together with the On the Hunt, and they can still get the fights that they need.
Absolutely, right here.
Look at the size of EG. Yep.
They're waiting to counterpick for their mid laner, but picking against LeBlanc is a tall task. That is pretty much the pick against LeBlanc. It's very hard to burst Orianna down. It isn't necessarily Pobelter's winning style, since Orianna doesn't necessarily put a team on her back and carry them like Pobelter has done a few times with Gragas, but it's kind of what he was forced into based on the matchup.
Orianna's enough of a champion to at least get a 4-3-man shockwave and change the game. Like you said, not carry, but does have that impact, and Pobelter loves those champions, something that he can have the team on his back with in some way, shape, or form.
So if I look at this CLG composition as well, I can see a lot of lane pushing potential right now off the bat. Shyvana should push in Mundo. Sivir and Thresh can potentially outshove the Jinx Alistar lane. And I think CLG is going to try and take control of the map a little bit there, so Dexter can kind of do his work in the jungle and camp the one lane that he needs.
It's something we have to watch. Dexter is finally here. He is finally with Counter Logic Gaming. The team has swatched so much. Every word you can figure out to turn something around and flip it back and forth.
Yeah, he's
and
coming.
now finally
no,
with the
he's
team.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's here.
Turns
Oh
out
wait,
it's
it's
week
Hot
4.
Shot.
Yeah.
We'll
Jouster?
see. There could be more.
Yeah.
Always. While the teams load into the riff, we'll check out who you guys are predicting to win this game. According to LOLesports.com, it's pretty close. 59% of you are in favor of CLG this game with the solid roster that they'll be bringing in for the rest of the split, we think.
Yeah, well, 59% considering it's a 4-5 team versus a 3-6 team. Only one game separating these guys in the standings. And I don't know how much of a saving grace Dexter, or people can expect Dexter to be. It's, yes, he was a good jungler in Europe,
right,
but he is not having synergy yet with CLG. He wasn't a superstar, all-star jungler. He was just a very good, solid jungler. Still, obviously, a lot of growth to do if he wants to take it to the next level. And on what, 2-3 days of practice with the team recently? It's going to be tough.
How often can you scrim with somebody, you know, the time difference, the zone, the lag's going to be there, and you may be able to get a few in, but you're not getting the results you would here. Everybody in the house communicating at the same time. You got to remember, EG won this first matchup. It was their first victory of the NA LCS Spring Split against Counter Logic Gaming. Can they make it too? We are on to the Rift. The fans are ready for the matchup. CLG on the blue side, EG on the red.
Can see a fairly standard starts here. Bunch of Doran's items for everyone. No extra wards, which you would make you think that both teams are going to put up this defensive strategy. You can see CLG already going 5 wide. However, EG is a team that likes to send 5 people in the same spot and invade. It's actually very clever what they've just done. Because Yellow Pete was pushed up, Doublelift would not have gained vision of EG sneaking through here. So with the Alistar, if they were to catch a flash pulverize or even just a straight up pulverize onto someone, it could result in a kill. They're not necessarily going to check in that brush with Dexter, though. This would be, they would have to be rather lucky. I feel like Dexter's going to see them and back away.
Very sneaky indeed. They were looking for attacks right off the bat. You see Yellow Pete, he's got the rockets out already. And they back off of this one. So they're
still a nice move.
Yeah, they tried to get it. Yeah. I mean, EG's really, like you said, the only team that's trying to do things in the early part of the game here, at least in North America.
And they had the Alistar, obviously, so if they would have done a 5v5, it generally gives them the edge. Everyone getting knocked up by the pulverize. CLG, though, would have had an opportunity to go aggressive. They could have done something with Thresh if they had felt so inclined. But that's just the state of the game at the moment. These teams not wanting to take the early risk, instead opting more for later invades. Like that ward.
The ward of knowledge. The early wards being placed down by both teams. No sweepers coming out. We saw a few yesterday in the early part of the game, mainly from supports. Looks like we'll get the regular start. Afromu not getting his ante this game. He's going to be taking that Thresh with the double lift. We see his first game on Sivir, so that'll be an interesting lane to watch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We get to see how EG's jungle start was scouted by CLG, but EG won't necessarily have eyes on where Dexter is. I'd like to get this game underway.
Yeah, we'll see what the deal is. Looks like Nian is trying to chat it up here. He's going to be reconnecting to the game right quick. Right in the beginning of the game, and as we're looking at Nian, he has Shyvana, and we're not going to see much of the top lane with it being a Mundo Shyvana, but we have to talk about Dyrus a little bit, of to what effect in the strength he got yesterday to completely carry the game. Nian has that possibility again this game.
Yeah, well, Nian's had a couple better games. He is this somewhat unforgettable player, or not forgettable. He's a forgettable top laner in many of his games, and that's what he needs to make sure he gets himself away from. He switched over to the top lane very early on, or sorry, not very, last season, summer split. He hasn't been there for too long, and he wants to try to learn this role. He feels like he's there at this point, but he hasn't necessarily shown it by taking over games or really trying to take his mechanics. He was one of the best AD carries in North America directly to the top lane. I think there's still a lot of transitioning he has to do before he gets to, Dyrus' level of Shyvana.
The first thing he said when we interviewed him after the game when CLG won, way back when we first had him, like I said, was that he had everything in front of him to do the best. He had the computer, the team, the house, people around him to help him, and he had the time to focus on it. And he did. He has shown us things that have put him at the top of the list. Back at MLG, saving the Nexus, obviously. Everybody remembers that.
He's absolutely motivated, and
Yeah.
he has had his moments. In this situation, being on a Shyvana against a Mundo, we've talked about this matchup fairly frequently, but he needs to get extremely aggressive early, shove up the lane as much as possible, and then either stop Mundo from getting involved in the game or pull jungle pressure up into that lane and just keep every lane shoving. That's his job this game.
We've seen a few teams going after the Mundos real early, just saying we're not going to allow you to have a safe game. We'll see if CLG does that up on Inox. Inox has also been a place of carry for where EG looks for it to come from. It's not pole belter. Inox has had great games on Nidalee, a few good games on Renekton, so he is also somewhere you can find strength on EG. Right now in the bottom lane, Yellow Pete's taking a few hits, but Krepo trying to play that zone style right now. Link's passive popped in mid, pole belter really walking up, getting a nice bit of auto attack on and stacking those passive shots.
A lot of aggression coming already from pole belter in the mid lane as well, because Orianna is definitely considered one of those lane bullies. It could be the reason Pole Belter picked it here against Lynx LeBlanc. Wants to shut him down right from the get-go. Nice play.
Ooh, the boomerang. Both sides. Great catch there coming in from Yellow Pete, but he is not too happy about it. Sitting about 250 HP. It's getting dangerous.
Something I want to track in the bottom lane is whether or not Krepo does not necessarily a flash pulverize, but a pulverized flash. We've been seeing so many people flash at the end of skills to make them work, like the Gragas when he flashes mid-body slam. Alistar can technically do the same thing. If you start your pulverize and flash right at the end, it will be an instantaneous knock-up. I was talking with Snoopy, actually, saying, oh yeah, Krepo loves doing that on Alistar. Then he didn't do it the last Alistar game.
Nian getting a bit of focus. It's almost a solo kill onto Inox. It basically is. The Ignite is down. Oh, he gets the heal. The potions pop. The first blood coming in from Snoopy at just the right time.
League of Legends definitely being like a game of pixels right there. That was barely a gank. Dexter too late to the party. Nien needed to try and take his pressure early on the game. That's why he did Doran's Blade, but he got baited right into a gank. It's very rare nowadays that you see a jungler gank top at level 3 like that. Snoopy completely caught Nien off guard.
Simply the right place at the right time. That was going to be a solo kill coming in for Nien. He burned the flash, he burned the ignite. That's going to be a tough top lane for him. The teleport back into the lane for Inox, he's not missing too much off of anything there.
Now, Inox is going to be quite strong early on in the game. We'll have to see if that early assist, obviously it's the kill is going to be going to Snoopy, can curb Nien's aggression, knowing that Nien burned his flash and his ignite just to try and get in on that.
So does this do anything to Dexter now in his mentality? Does he have to catch up, or he can
Not yet.
just play it slow?
I think since it's just the first kill and it was so early on in the game, it hasn't really changed much. He didn't die. He didn't lose double buffs. He can still just kind of go back to his path. If the Snoopy ganks continue to happen, then we'll reach a point where Snoopy can just obliterate him in 1v1s, and then he'd have cause to panic. But right now, I think he should just continue on his initial plan.
All right, we'll stop the bleeding for now. Try to keep some vision up. They do have that blue ward now for Nien in the top lane. He is still trying to push Inox in. Kind of forced here because that's where the minion wave is. He's going to play Burnout to keep it safe in the long lane. Doran's Blade into the longsword for him. Looking at the Ruby Crystal bought up by Inox. Switching around the lanes, we see in the mid lane double Dorans for both Pole Belter and Inox's. They're just going to keep going head-to-head here for a while.
Yeah. Definitely like how Pole Belter is playing this matchup early. Once level 6 happens, I think is when this lane will really get interesting. Pole Belter hasn't necessarily shoved him in too much. Snoopy should not still be up here. He was spotted earlier by the ward. But now they're going in again. They did land a cleaver. If he can land another one, that would have been a
About
gang.
those slows. One more, the under cleaver into Undertow. Might be a little too
Maybe.
close
Oh,
now.
he's
The
in trouble.
Undertow hits as well. Reckless swing to come down. There's another kill onto Nien. He just got back to lane.
So here's the thing that Nien is doing. He was trying to play with relentless aggression, and he wasn't expecting Snoopy to come up there for the gank, because theoretically for CLG, Link should be pushing on Pole Belter, and Double Lift and Nafamu should be pushing on Krepo and Pete. But since that's not happening, Snoopy is getting these non-punishing ganks for his own team and just punishing Nien. Nien is falling behind because he's pulling off a strategy that the rest of the team isn't in on.
Needs to keep that aggression up, so Snoopy has too many tasks on his plate. But right now, oh, the communication isn't there. Krepo trying to play a little bit of zone. He is really doing the behavioral thing. He's always been big on that. Whoa, Nien getting some damage onto Inox under the turret. He's out before he gets aggro.
Well, he was 2 levels ahead of him at that point. He still could have popped off his ultimate. Now Snoopy trying to chase down Dexter. Pobelter on the chase.
Dexter looking to get back into this, maybe slow down Snoopy, but that would have been just from taking raids.
They might kill him here.
Was it worth it? Oh, there's the shockwave, and they're going to go for Link here. He's forced to get out of this one. Bad things happening for Counter Logic.
Snoopy has just been all over the place. Inox now bullying Yen as well. Let's see what this all can do.
Seda isn't on. He's got the ultimate. The Ignite is kind of halving it out
Scared
there.
him off.
They're not going to go for it. They both respect it.
Yeah, so you can see Nien continues to try and play aggressive in the top lane, but it's really all about Snoopy and Pobelter in that last play. Dexter was trying to make a comeback play because he felt bad about getting his lanes ganked.
Yep.
He says, okay, Snoopy was there. I'm going to try and steal his jungle along the way. But he overstayed his welcome. And then, most importantly, Kobe talked a lot yesterday about how counter jungling is a team effort. Dexter was trying to counter jungle there without his team. Link is going aggressive, though.
Yeah, he knows that shockwave's down.
And when you try and counter jungle without your team, you get collapsed on right there. If Link had been pushed up to the turret against Pobelter, instead of a 1v2, it would have been a 2v1, and Dexter would have been able to kill Snoopy. But Pobelter came first, he collapsed onto Dexter, and that's why he died.
Great movement from EG. Pink ward right up by that Wraith camp, really keeping them safe. And they already have a few deep wards as well. They're going to be looking for a little bit of blue roam that Link would make. They have that right down by Wolves. And Pobelter gets his blue now, so he knows that transfer is going to be happening on the other side of the map as well.
I also like how Pobelter went back and got that null magic mantle just to save a little bit extra and stop Link from being able to destroy him. Right now, Snoopy is just completely ahead of the game on Dexter. Dexter's off doing a blue buff. Snoopy's taking the dragon after giving off his blue buff. Big lead early for EG.
What the lanes are doing as well. Doublelift is winning in farm right now, but they're down 3 kills. He needs to be doing that for his team because that's the lane we're looking at to kind of carry this into the mid and late game for CLG right now.
Yeah, you can see everything is just a little bit out of sync or a step slow for CLG. When they're trying to do counter jungling, Snoopy beat them there. When Nien is trying to play aggressive top lane, no other lanes are pushing, therefore the jungler defaults to killing him. You know, when even that last time Nien tried to go counter jungle, well, Inox was there because there was no pressure when EG wanted to take the dragon. Everything's going perfectly for EG right now.
And they don't look to be pressing that advantage at all. They're keeping it going, but they're not doing anything dangerous. They're making sure it's always in their favor, and they have the 99.9% chance to come out on top. 10 minutes into the game, they got a 2,000 gold lead already. This is going to be a BF sword, which is actually matched right now by Doublelift in the hands of Yellow Pete.
Yeah, this is the lane in the game that has been non-impacted by either side's jungler, and in that case, you can see Doublelift is beating Yellow Pete by a few farm. It's nothing major. Since they haven't completed big items, if Doublelift can get enough lead that he finishes Bloodthirst while Yellow Pete does not have it, then it will be important. But at this point, it doesn't mean anything.
See how Link can play this. This is the first time we're seeing him come back to the mid lane now. He's been in the jungle. They put him on the Assassinator LeBlanc. So far, not yet able to roam, but he's still getting that Deathfire grass built up.
And Pobelter has been one of the most impressive mid laners. New mid laners in the LCS for sure. He went toe-to-toe with Bjergsen yesterday. Shut him down on multiple occasions, and he's doing really well against Lynx LeBlanc right now.
Both junglers feeling
Might
this
see a
one out.
3v3.
Yep, Crepo is going to stay on that side of the Chompers, though. He's might. No. Very nice job. They do not bait back through. I thought they were going to try to at least go for Crepo, but the Chompers keeping him safe.
Yeah, well, Crepo popped his ultimate right there, and I feel like if CLG engaged on him, they risked the counterattack. Both junglers just showing up at the same time. No ultimates blown from the junglers. Just an 80 carry and a support ultimate blown. One for CLG, one for EG. I wonder if EG is going to stick around and push this because Dexter is long gone.
Nian's in the top lane trying to cause a little bit of trouble here, getting behind the turret and doing some farm, but I believe he's going to be all right. Inox knows nobody else is coming because of the wards. He will now, though, and that bottom pressure could continue to happen.
That's relentless pressure by Nian. He's going to tell Snoopy that he needs to come up there again and again if he wants to shut him down.
Start base farming.
Oh yeah, he's in between the deeper set of turrets right now. Just trading farm. There's a flash!
There it is. They get the flash pulverized down. It's all about Afro. He flashes out. Still has the box to go up as well. Very calmly played there. Snoopy with Ragnarok. These guys just trading back and forth, saying, look what I can do.
Yeah, not very much crowd control chained right there onto Aframu, so he gets out of the flash pulverize. That just makes bot lane a more gankable place, because both supports are down a flash now, and therefore more vulnerable.
Finally, haven't seen too much down here. Just a whole lot of hubbub. Everybody's partying back and forth. Not too many kills. 103 CS is Yellow Pete's kind of been shoved off of this now. We know Alistar's not too much of an aggressive support, but the zone control definitely by Aframu and Doublelift down there.
Showing their superior bot lane right there. I'd have to say Yellow Pete and Crepo haven't done the most impressive things in a 2v2. Crepo's more about the team play at this point. Ooh, that's a lot of minions to be going in on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just a bit of damage. Yeah, good call. The Siege Wave put out quite a bit of damage. Doublelift backing now. He should have on the hunt when he returns to lane. We'll see if Dragon being up in a few minutes.
Yeah. Speaking of dragons, Yen is behind the mid lane turret right now. This is what he needs to do if he wants to try and take a bit of an advantage over Inox. Just farming between the turns doesn't do much until he starts counter jungling. He's taking the Wraiths, and they are planning a over-the-wall assault. Both of them would fly over, I think, once Pobelter returns. Let's wait for it.
Shockwave is up here. Snoopy's Ghost is down, looking at
There
some of the summoners. Oh, they go right past him. He goes for the double distortion and explosion as well. What a combination there. Dexter running out of this fight. Snoopy's going to be coming in. Like I said, his Ghost is down, so it's up to the Undertows. The Cleaver misses, and they don't have the chase capability.
Yeah, that was a nice gank by CLG. They just waited for Pobelter to kind of be on his own, and they flew over that wall. Good lord, Pobelter didn't have a chance.
Talk about gap closers. Link going for double distortion, like you said, over the Wraiths. They're getting at whatever they want, however they want right now, and they needed that kill. A little bit of momentum here. They were 3 kills down, bringing the gold lead to 1,000 deficit now, better than the 2K deficit.
Yeah, Snoopy has definitely slowed down. With his early kills, you know, he rushed that Spirit of the Ancient Golem to get the conservation stacks going earlier, but he still has no boots. And Olaf is very, very move speed dependent. He is not that effective until he gets some boots.
Very nice boomerang by Doublelift there, pretty much just zoning out the lane even more. Since we last looked, it was 81 CS, now 14 more to 95 only.
Yeah, and remember how we said if Doublelift gets a Bloodthirster before Yellow Pete can complete it. Doublelift did a very good job of going back to base right when he could complete that Bloodthirster. Now he's using the power advantage to put even more punishment on the EG bot lane.
He's not really boomeranging the waves down either. They're making sure they stay off the turret so they can deal the damage if they want.
Yeah, he's punishing as much as possible. But he's still pushed up, therefore daring EG to come down. And at this point, CLG has 2 lanes that are very successful. Yen has regained power in the top lane, farming in between turrets over Inox, and then also that bottom lane. So it means Snoopy has a little bit of interesting places to go.
Ooh.
Speaking of which,
Dragon's Descent, so close to being up, but it's not.
Because he
Worse
had
than Flash.
shopped.
Yep.
He was sitting on 1,800 gold, and Inox had his Sunfire Cape. So that is going to happen if the other guy has 2,000 more gold than you. Won't happen now that he's got the Bladed Rune Kick.
Still doing quite well in that top lane for being focused so much. There's the On the Hunt coming in from Doublelift. Good damage onto him to start that fight, but Aframu puts himself in as a personal sentry. 1-2 on the distortion. Link plays it safe, but it looks like we may have a little bit of a Dragon Rumble.
Yeah, they're daring this 5v5 to happen. Inox has roamed down. The end is a little bit late. They're getting that dragon down real quick.
Oh, he misses the chain. A little off to the right. The sun was in his eyes, and the dragon's going to be going over to Snoopy. Very nice control here by EG. 2 out of 2 dragons throughout the game.
And that's what EG focuses on, it seems like, dragon control. They had a lot of good dragon control yesterday against Team Solo Mid, especially early on. In this game, obviously with Jinx, they scale a little bit better into the late game. You know, Orianna also can bring a huge amount of damage, and the fact that Inox is ahead in farm on the end while still not losing his turret means Inox has most definitely won that lane over Nien.
And how does this work for Link, really, when he does get the Deathfire Grasp? Because it only looks like he has Yellow Pete to be killing here.
It's basically the item LeBlanc gets to try and burst down whoever.
Yeah.
But if she actually does want to get a kill, it would have to be onto Yellow Pete. It could still work quite well if he gets harassed down onto Pobelter. The Athene's Unholy Grail isn't complete immunity against it. It'll depend on whether the ball is on his head and whether he is shielding properly.
Got to make sure Link has that correct eyesight. There it is, going in fight. Aframu, Link is from behind. Does he have Pete? The exhaust goes down, but he puts himself on the outside of the box. Oh, he splits the uprights. That's not going to be the points you're looking for. Kill coming in for Doublelift. Link as well, and it's going to be the run coming out here by Yellow Pete.
The timing on that gank was absolutely perfect. The fact that Link was coming up through the lane as EG initiated is the perfect storm for a counter gank. Link just completely capitalized, got the DFG on the target, thought he wanted to, and they're going to get a turret to boot.
CLG playing these fights like they've considered what's going to happen and then some, easily dodging out everything that was thrown at them and making that gank look like they had it set from the beginning.
So easy.
So easy indeed. 17 minutes in. It wasn't easy in the beginning. Nian had quite trouble in the top lane. There wasn't a lot coming from Pobelter or Link, and I just said, when's Link going to start blowing up? Now he's 2-0-1. That was big for him.
Yeah, he had to do a lot of farming. Really just the timing of that gank was very fortunate for them. It looked well planned, but there was a lot of luck that came into that one too, just having it fall the right way. Link, though, blue buff LeBlanc is one of the hardest things in the world to catch.
The ward that could have killed you. Will he be able to get out of this one? He's got the shoes tied tight. He's trying to do the moves, and he gets hit with another cleaver. He does not have a distortion to return to, and they do find the kill onto that one. Fancy moves, though.
You can juke as much back and forth as you want, but if there's 4 people chasing you down, you're probably gone. Didn't even have his flash to try and juke that one. Now EG's going to try and power push the mid lane right here, but Sivir is there to clear the way.
They got a big team. They got the Cow. They got an Olaf and a Mundo up here. That ultimate for Mundo is up. You see the level differences here between the teams. That is a level 12 Inox. He's the highest in the game right now. He's the guy they're looking to get that first damage on the turret.
He's gotten very strong. Got all his summoners up as well, plus a red buff. A lot of power in EG sitting here, but you're not pushing on double if Sivir at this point in the game. Bloodthirster completed. The wave just melts.
Link just losing that blue buff. There it is on the blue Cow. He's going to be quite happy with that. Yeah. Nope. Yeah.
I think that was actually one of those situations where he walked past the ward because he had his camera off screen, and someone else said, "Dude, you just walked past a ward."
Yellow Pete
and he has to go back into it.
Oh, there it is, Jat. He tries to get Yellow Pete, but Crepo, a split-second decision of headbutt. Very well played.
Yeah, Link missed pretty much everything. I think he used DFG.
Hit DFG, and then
that's about it.
You're out of here.
Crepo completely shut him down, and Yellow Pete did some juking.
He got the horns on that one. 19 minutes onto this. 4-3. They're looking to make it possibly 4-4 here. Crepo keeping that 75% damage on the ult.
Yeah, that was an interesting interaction. I think CLG is going to try and continue onto this one. Nice pulverize.
What? Oh!
Doesn't matter.
As soon as the ult wears off, though, he kind of sentenced himself to death there by headbutting in.
Yeah, and there's no turret behind them. Flash ult!
Oh, a beautiful assaulted battery after the flash, like we saw the Vault Breaker going down, but they are just making it work still. Dexter coming up with the help for the team.
Yeah, just a really good rotation there by CLG. They realized that EG had completely overstayed their welcome. They weren't the team with better running capabilities. That's the team with Sivir for chasing people down. And once CLG realized they could get more people there, they just brute forced it, got all the kills they wanted, and get a turret out of it.
This is what we pretty much expected to see once CLG started a group. You got Sivir's on the hunt, grouping with the rest of the team, able to follow up on just that, the assault and batteries that keep the fights going and keep EG on their heels.
Yeah, Nien still going to want to be a big factor in these team fights because he's 0-2. Link, though, on his return to mid lane, has not disappointed. His laning phase was not spectacular against Pobelter, but his roam bottom lane has proved to be the most effective. Jinx is an incredibly immobile AD carry, and as hard as Crepo is trying, he cannot peel off a LeBlanc like he wants to, and it is being very punishing right now for EG.
Yellow Pete really has to keep himself safe.
He's down a lot to farm, too.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's really kind of considering being forced into the Banshee's Veil right away or something to mitigate it. But yeah, you're right, he can't. He needs the damage, he needs the match, at least what Doublelift and the rest of their team is bringing to the table.
AD carries need to get at least Bloodthirster and Static Shiv before they can think about going defensive if they want to have any type of impact in the mid game. So for this next, I'd want to say 4,000 to 5,000 gold for Yellow Pete.
Yeah.
He is in a bind where Link can decide to destroy him. And it's going to be about him keeping himself safe.
Crepo taking into consideration the fact that On the Hunt's been up for a while, so the Talisman Ascension is finished up quite quick for him. He doesn't go for the fast boots there.
Hello.
Hello indeed. Nian finding Inox here. Not too much vision on the side of EG on this part of the jungle, so Inox is roaming out, and EG is slowly ready to give him some protection because they don't know what's over there either.
He got so much damage onto him right now, though, that CLG is going to force the dragon fight.
Oh, just trying to see what's in the brush. Get a quick clear out on a pink ward there. CLG puts another one in, and they start to poise here for Dragon.
EG focuses a lot on Dragon Control. They're not going to give this one up easily.
No.
But CLG is bursting it down. Let's see if Crepo tries to flash in.
They're 2 for 2 here. Crepo's looking to get in the fight. Talisman Ascension goes down. It's going to be the Assault Battery going down. Dexter actually getting some good damage in, but they focus him very fast. EG is looking to win this fight pretty hard. CLG's with big health, but they're on the outside. Link goes in for 1. He's right next to Yellow Pete and calls back the distortion. Great control. It's going to be Crepo over the wall with the Pulverize, but he might have gotten himself killed here.
No.
Link, Yellow Pete. Oh my gosh, only 1 distortion coming out.
And it was the big one right there because Yellow Pete blew up. 4 for 1 right there for CLG. They forced the fight at the right time, and they're pushing objectives afterwards. They don't care about the Dragon. That was only a vehicle for that team fight.
CLG, we were thinking that they were kind of falling behind in the mid game, but they had the mentality. They knew when they needed to turn the gas on, and they started hitting the pedal about 5 minutes ago. They have been in complete control now.
A lot of it has just been about Link's roam on the block and how much impact he has had on the game. Additionally, Double Lift accumulated a huge farm advantage over Yellow Pete. But this fight, it was basically the fact that Link never made Yellow Pete feel safe in this one. Yellow Pete can never... See how he's out on the side of the team fight? That's maybe the second shot Yellow Pete has gotten off. Inox can tank all day when he's in there, but if he's never able to do damage, Link was just going in and out the whole time. And as we saw yesterday, when TSM played LeBlanc with Shyvana, everyone wants to focus on LeBlanc because she's such a threat, but it's the Shyvana who is whipping the team apart, and no one wants to come and focus on that. And it has been working so well for CLG this game.
All that mixed damage flying around in the form of a dragon can be painful. 9 to 5, 23 minutes on the clock. It's 4,000 gold now in favor of CLG. They were 2,000 gold down around 5-6 minutes into the game. So very good pressure they've put on to turn the game around. You know, like we saw in their video with the coaches, Monty was saying they've been doing the right things to adapt and turn the game around. They've done it again.
Yeah. Well, they've been saying they've been doing it in scrims. This would be the first time we get to see it in actual LCS. They did have that one nice comeback against Curse already this season, where they lost so many early turrets and pulled off a nice flank attack in the mid-game to come back. They don't need any comebacks in this one because they are in the driver's seat right now, just trying to get ward control of the Baron area. They have shown they control these 5v5 fights as long as Link comes in from the proper angles. He can do it.
We see Yellow Pete actually going for the Phantom Dancer here for that single target damage. Hoping to maybe heal off a little bit of that burst. See what they could do in this fight.
We talked about how EG overcommits when they're behind in games. They're not where they should be.
Oh, he gets Yellow Pete! He gets hit up hard. The barrier's off immediately. They are looking for him still. Nien has a radar on Yellow Pete right now. Snoopy goes down just from AoE damage around the fight. Inox is falling very low right now. A few attacks. The sadism is on! Oh, the boomerang just misses!
Oh, Link is right where he wants to be. He's waiting for that distortion kill.
He is patiently
They need
waiting.
minions.
They all feel the pressure onto this one. They're like, we can walk out as a group, I think. Hold the hands, we'll be safe. And they are. They get by. The minion wave is there as a shield, too.
Hand-holding and friendship is very real. That's what saved them in that situation. But they still lost the fight pretty badly. Oh no, here it comes.
Oh, double distortion again from Link is going to be giving people nightmares on EG tonight. 11 to 5 here at 25 minutes. They've broken open the base.
Yeah, Double Lift has gotten very strong as well. It's just all those ricochet damage stuff, AoE, Shyvana just sitting there. Everyone is just kind of dying right there for EG if they get in these clumped up team fights. EG had to play against the same thing yesterday.
Yeah.
It's so difficult for them. But yeah, EG shouldn't have been here. They get the ult onto Yellow Pete. You can see Link gets peeled great by Crepo, but it didn't necessarily matter because the rest of CLG was so far ahead. That was a fantastic headbutt, by the way, by Crepo.
That was great.
Yeah, but obviously CLG was too strong at this point. They nearly overstayed their welcome. And now a desperation Baron by EG. Let's see if CLG can stop this. This would be the one thing that gets them back in the game or the thing that breaks their back.
They're missing a few ultimates, definitely from the bottom lane of Double Lift and Afro move here. No. Oh my god, he didn't even get to go in on that. Going down is Crepo. That's the crowd control they need. That's the cow, the tank. Snoopy is on the outside swinging his axes to look pretty, but he's not going to be able to help in this fight. Inox is going to be chased down, or are they just going to turn on Baron?
Well, they don't need to kill him. Everyone else has went to Baron.
Oh, Link! Wow, the Thresh Express monthly pass coming in for Link there.
How far can one champion go in a short amount of time? That far, because CLG, the rest of the team was taking Baron. That, I think, is the backbreaker for EG right there.
That is going to hurt.
That was cool, though.
Yeah.
I want to see the little jumpy jump next time. It's like he distorted onto the lantern and then just went a monstrous distance. All right, so the actual team fight was over before it started. Link stopped the peeling. Nien got a perfect ultimate onto 3, and at that point, the AoE damage just wiped out EG immediately. But this was the cool part. This is what everyone wants to see again. Let's watch. They get the Reverie crack. When he lands it, he's like, come on, Link. Come, take the lantern. So far. It really wasn't all that much. It was just a distortion onto a max range lantern. You just don't realize how far that thing can take someone.
A bit like an LCS fun plays.
Yeah. There you go.
15-5, few more kills just going in the column for CLG. A great turnaround in this game, and we really can't say it enough. The new lineup being brought to the table is showing very strong.
Yeah, so far, you know, Dexter picking up 8 assists on 15 kills. Not the craziest co-participation. He actually hasn't had that crazy of a game. Yeah. I think the big win for CLG is getting Link back in the mid lane. When they didn't have Dexter, they didn't just have one player playing out of position, they had 2. And this is such a mid-lane focused game nowadays, with all the priority being placed on the Blanc and such. The 7-1-4 LeBlanc has been a huge part of the story. It's allowing the rest of CLG to really shine because, you know, Nien got ganked so heavily. And before, when they would have Hotshot in the mid lane, Hotshot wouldn't pick up the slack after all those ganks. And now it's happening. It's allowed Doublelift to get more farm. Everything is starting to tick together.
I felt the pain on that one.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Link going in once again. He has that blue buff on, possibly. I haven't seen him quick enough. He is just flying on and off the screen. The Talisman of Ascension, the on the hunt. Everybody's got to bait it into using something right now, but nobody's going to do anything.
How fast are you? We're faster. And they just decide not to turret dive because that's the smart move. They still have the Baron buff, though.
They have so many options to just be pushing this mid or the bottom. Mid's down, so they don't really want to get in, but they can squeak around here and start to even side flank EG.
They might try to get Link around the side and just push EG back with maybe the next minion wave. They're not really making much progress right now against the wave clear of Orianna, Olaf, and Jinx combined. So I would expect Link to try and get something off the side if CLG really wants to initiate this one.
See Link in the mid lane, 10,800 to 8,900 on the side of Pobelter. CLG really came together in the mid portion of this game to synergize, get kills, and snowball each other. We saw EG getting a lot of the dragons, but CLG was able to find the fights they've needed just after the laning phase. And now we're here in front of the bottom inhibitor turret, 30 minutes in, and looks like they're just going to get it eventually.
I'm really surprised CLG didn't try something more creative on that one, because they tried a previous minion wave with no one coming in from inside the base, and it got pushed back. Now they're just kind of standing here. The fact that they're here for the 3rd time in a row makes me think they're going to put a lot more commitment onto this next wave. Like, they're going to go much more aggressive. And finally, Nien makes it inside the base. Here it comes.
Looks like it's going to be the ender. Oh,
Link.
Doublelift does have the red potion on for this fight. They're looking to close it out. Dexter so far behind, and they lose Yellow Pea before Dexter even really takes damage. Link going into the fight. He does get himself quite hurt, but he's able to really just cause enough chaos to kill the focus of Evil Geniuses. It looks like they're scattering here, and CLG is just pulling them back in, reeling them in for the kills whenever they want.
EG has nothing to fight back with at this point. CLG cleaning up.
Oh, another one!
Where's coming? Where's the lantern?
Where's the lantern?
Oh.
Last one was better. What was that?
Flick it when he goes in.
He keeps him alive, though. He's got to make it look good somehow, pulling out the swagger on the exit of the Nexus turrets. The first one's going to fall. A very methodically won game here by Counter Logic Gaming. 30 minutes in, the new lineup looks crisp and solid. Pobelter looking to go down here. Oh, just the tip. Not enough.
Yeah, 30-minute game right here. CLG, once they got an inch, they took a mile. Game on for them.
Very good win by CLG. They even up the head-to-head with Evil Geniuses at 1-1.
Yeah, you could definitely see the difference there with Link in the mid lane instead of in the jungle. Even if he was a strong jungler, his mid lane is much better. That's what he plays League of Legends for.
Dexter having a very strong game as well. Elise and Olaf, we said, in the Battle of the Atlantic, but he brings up the 5 here. And he definitely broke open some vaults. He gave the team some gold.
Yeah, right there, Dexter. Probably not super happy with this first game. When they have a dominating victory like that, to come away as a 1-3-8, kind of like, yeah, I was part of that win.
It was me, I helped.
But he doesn't feel too much personal investment with that. It's still a good start for CLG, winning their only game of the week, their first game with Dexter. It puts them on a very positive track.
Yeah, like I said, you know, there's other games you have a low score. Maybe you're the guy guarding the bomb. Maybe you're the guy that doesn't get the kills, but you still have a huge impact in winning the rounds for the team. There he is. He has that smile on his face, and I bet you he's happy to be here as well.
Yeah.
It was a long
win
time
rate.
coming.
100% win rate in the LCS.
CLG's
right
getting that with their subs,
Not
and they
many
always
players can
have.
say that.
Back at
St.
MLGs,
Vicious,
Wings.
St. Vicious and Dexter, 2 players with 100% win rates in the LCS right now.
I guess it's all about subbing each week. We'll see
Yeah.
what teams can.
Just keep swapping in players.
Who can sub
over
the
and over
best.
again. Yeah. Get those 100% win rates.
So not a very good early game for Chronologic Gaming. Nien
No.
was harassed wholly in the lane. He comes back to lane and he died a second time after first blood. And in that, he almost did get a first kill on Inox in a 1v1.
Yeah.
Snoopy was just on the level 3 gank right away.
I feel like when CLG looks at this game again, they will realize they could have done more in the early game. But for all the lanes to fail early, Nien's lane is the one that they can come back the most from. Top lane is very isolationist regardless.
Right.
Shyvana has, or rather Mundo is just so non-interactive for so long that even if he gets a few kills early, you could see Nien just took it right back. I'd say Nien did a very good job of kind of playing from behind in a sense and pulling himself back in that game despite the early failures. But obviously, they would like it if those things didn't happen.
And there was a really good amount of things targeted coming into Pobelter on this game. And I just got to say, this kid is crazy. He has the most champions played out of anybody. And that Orion attacks on another one.
Yeah.
He's only doubled up on his Gragas play.
Yeah, Pobelter definitely coming to play. His early laning was very strong. But as we said, when EG wins, it seems to be like Pobelter has to carry them. And Link actually got into the same problem last year. He was so good at Orianna, but he couldn't necessarily carry the team with it.
Ultimately.
And even if Pobelter had a good laning phase, he could not transition and he could not carry EG.
All right, well, we've got to take a quick break. When we come back, CLG's Rush Hour, bot lane, Afromoo, and Double Lift join Freak and Kobe in the studio. Then Cop and Curse will take on Wild Turtle and Team Solo Mid. Don't go anywhere.
Down. Let's see if Krepo tries to flash in.
They're 2 for 2 here. Krepo's looking to get into the fight. Talisman Ascension goes down. It's going to be the Assault Battery going down. Dexter actually getting some good damage in, but they focus him very fast. EG is looking to win this fight pretty hard. CLG's with big health, but they're on the outside. Link goes in for 1. He's right next to Yellow Pete and calls back the Distortion. Great control. It's going to be Krepo over the wall with the Pulverize, but he might have gotten himself killed here.
No.
Link, Yellow Pete. Oh my gosh, only 1 Distortion coming out.